Hey everyone! We are all human, and everyone knows that humans make many mistakes. But when it comes to mega projects, you might think that engineers and investors have carefully thought about everything, and the project is 100% without mistakes. However, it's not always like that. In this video from Vista, we intend to talk about some billion-dollar mistakes and see why the construction of these mega projects has fallen behind by several years, with costs 3 or 4 times higher. Please stay with us. Number 1. Citigroup Center Building. This building is located in the center of New York. The 280-meter tall structure has a unique feature. Its foundation consists of only 4 columns, each measuring 34 meters in length. Construction of this building began in 1974 and was completed in 1977. However, in 1978, a major mistake was identified in this skyscraper. The engineers miscalculated the building's resistance to wind forces. They only considered winds that hit the building's 4 sides but overlooked winds that might impact its corners. The person who noticed this significant mistake was Ms. Diane Hartley, a civil engineering student at the time. Ms. Hartley pointed out that if a severe wind came, it could potentially break the building in the middle. After hearing her concerns, engineers conducted various experiments and found that indeed, if a strong wind struck the corners of the building, it would collapse. If the building were to collapse due to wind, it wouldn't fall straight down but would topple onto other towers like a domino, causing extensive damage. When news of the Hurricane Ila approached, engineers became extremely worried and quickly began reinforcing the foundation of the building. Fortunately, Hurricane Ila did not reach New York. Interestingly, the New York government did not disclose anything about this engineering mistake to the people until the news of the mistake was published in the New Yorker magazine in 2017, 43 years after the construction. Number 2. Jeddah Tower. This tower, formerly known as the Kingdom Tower, is situated in the city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It was intended to become the world's first 1-kilometer tall tower. The Saudi Arabian government aimed to transform Jeddah into a tourist destination similar to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, by constructing this tower. Construction of Jeddah Tower began in 2013, and it was supposed to be completed in 2018. However, due to the arrest of several prominent Saudi princes, ministers, and businessmen in 2017, including Walid bin Talal, a major investor in the project who was arrested by the Saudi government and imprisoned. Even months after all investors were released, construction did not resume, and it remains unclear when the construction of the tower will restart. As of now, the tower stands at 252 meters in height, and it is uncertain whether it will ever be completed. If the tower is never built, investors are expected to incur losses of around $1 million. Number 3. Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. This project involves the construction of an international airport in Germany. When the construction of Berlin-Brandenburg Airport began in 2006, it was estimated to cost around $2.4 billion, and the completion was expected in 2011. However, due to financial corruption within companies and other issues, the construction of this massive airport faced significant delays. The first delay occurred in 2010 when one of the main construction companies declared bankruptcy. The airport's non-compliance with standards also contributed to the delay. For example, the fire alarm system didn't work correctly, and the entire 67 kilometers of the ventilation system lacked proper insulation. The construction cost skyrocketed from $2.4 billion to $8.3 billion. Finally, in 2020, after 14 years of setbacks, the airport started operating. However, its challenges are not over, as the airport, due to the prevalence of COVID-19, cannot generate sufficient revenue to sustain its operations. To prevent bankruptcy, an additional $2 billion needs to be invested. Next in line is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. For this project, we need to go back to the year 1940. In that year, the construction of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was completed. This bridge connected the city of Tacoma in the state of Washington to Kitsap Island, and was the third longest suspension bridge in the world after the George Washington Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge. However, on a stormy day during the bridge's construction, its first problem became evident. The wind not only swayed the bridge horizontally, but also caused it to oscillate generally. To prevent severe swaying, engineers installed a series of hydraulic dampers. On July 1, 1940, the bridge opened to the public. Unfortunately, the engineers' preventive measures were not entirely effective. A few weeks after its opening, people noticed increasingly violent swaying, to the point that many were unwilling to cross the bridge. Some individuals from different cities even traveled to Tacoma, Washington, to witness the bridge's terrifying movements. Just 4 months after its opening, the swaying became more severe, and on November 7, 1940, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapsed. Fortunately, no one suffered serious injuries. After the collapse, engineers discovered their mistake, and 10 years later, in 1950, Washington State built a new Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which still stands today. In 2007, they constructed another 4-lane bridge alongside it. The cost of building the original bridge in 1940, at today's rate, was around $169 million. The second bridge, built in 1950, cost approximately $170 million. And the parallel bridge, constructed in 2007, had an estimated cost of $850 million. Number 5. Texcoco Airport, Mexico City. In September 2014, Mexico's president, Mr. Enrique Peña Nieto, announced the country's largest project in the past 100 years, the Texcoco Airport.
El cargo de presidente de la República, y si así no lo hiciere.
With the increasing number of tourists, Mexico City needed a new and larger airport to replace the Benito Juárez International Airport. Mr. Enrique planned to build this airport in several phases, with the first phase scheduled to be completed in 2020 and the final phase in 2025. In the last phase, the airport was expected to have 6 runways and accommodate a yearly capacity of 125 million passengers. The estimated cost for this mega project was around $13 billion, leading the Mexican government to borrow billions of dollars for its construction. The construction began in 2015, but in 2018, with the arrival of the new president, the project came to a halt. The new president, López Obrador, halted the project for a few reasons. Firstly, he believed that the previous government was corrupt and had pocketed millions of dollars. Secondly, he argued that the construction costs were escalating rapidly. Thirdly, he stated that the chosen location for the airport was not suitable and was sinking. President López Obrador decided to cancel the Texcoco Airport and build a new, smaller one, claiming it would cost less than completing the first phase of Texcoco. After a referendum where nearly 70% of the people voted to cancel the Texcoco project, despite 30% of the first phase being already completed, the new government ordered the complete demolition of the existing structures, turning the area into a lake. The total cost, including construction and demolition expenses, for the Mexican government amounted to approximately $16 billion. Additionally, the construction of the new airport, which began in 2019 and is expected to be completed soon, is incurring an extra cost of $3.6 billion. Number 6 and the final one is Vdara Hotel, Las Vegas. This hotel, famously known as the Death Ray Hotel, captured a lot of attention in 2010. After its opening, many guests using the hotel's pool experienced severe sunburns. The curvature of the hotel acted like a large parabolic lens, concentrating sunlight onto the pool area and raising the temperature of the surroundings to as high as 42 degrees Celsius, 108 degrees Fahrenheit. At times, it became so hot that it even melted plastic water bottles. To address these issues, large umbrellas were initially placed around the pool area, and a special film was applied to all windows of the building to reduce sunlight reflection. However, despite these measures, many people still suffer from sunburns, and these efforts cost around $14 million. Interestingly, the architect behind this hotel, Mr. Raphael Vinoli, was also responsible for another of his projects, the 20 Fenchurch Street building in London. The curvature of this building created a similar issue, heating the pavements to such an extent that it caused the plastic components of parked cars to melt. We hope you have enjoyed watching this video from Vista. Please leave your comments and share it with your friends.